friends, welcome back to my channel. Erica Tesla here. If you are new to my channel, thank you so much for deciding to click on this video, and if you are returning, thank you for continuing to support my channel. Today's video is about trying to, how do I put this? Today's video is really about taking stock of the things that I have and being more mindful going into 2024 of the makeup that I have, the makeup that I actually use, and in this case, the makeup that I really want to use but didn't get a chance to use in 2023. I wanted to talk about makeup that I got in 2023, didn't get to use in 2023, but I am planning to use in 2024. So these are palettes that I have not even had a chance to put on my eye. And the reasons vary, mainly because of time constraints, and a secondary reason is because I do have a lot of makeup and I enjoy using makeup. I use makeup very regularly, but I found myself at the end of 2023 just really committed to doing a lot of other things, specifically family stuff because of the holidays. For those of you who don't know, and most likely you wouldn't know this, I am a December baby. Just celebrated my 41st birthday on December 28th, but 6 days before that, my older son celebrated his birthday. So between his birthday, Christmas, which we do celebrate, and then my birthday, and then New Year's, and family in town, we just had so much going on. So while I had the best intentions of trying out new makeup and trying to figure out what I thought about the makeup products that I purchased more recently, I just did not have time. I was really focused on enjoying the holidays with my family. So I have no regrets about that, but it did make me take pause and think about moving forward in the future, what I really have time to commit to, what I really feel like I would enjoy makeup wise. With that, I decided that in this video it would be interesting to just talk about palettes that I bought in 2023 with the intent of using them in 2023, but more than likely I'm going to be using in 2024. And I think moving into 2024, my goal is to use more of what I already have. I would say that compared to years past, in 2023, I purchased probably a good amount of makeup, but not as much as I have in the past. I was not as motivated to buy every single new release and to try to have like every bit of a collection. And I think that that is in line with, I think, a trend that I've seen among a lot of content creators who are just kind of slowing down on just like buying for the sake of buying or collecting for the sake of collecting, and purchasing things that you really will enjoy. So I think a lot of us are being a little bit more edited and curated in our collections and trying to really take pause and enjoy what we have. And I had really good intentions of using all of the products that I'm going to share with you, but for one reason or another, as I mentioned, it just didn't work out. That's enough of an intro. Let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so when I am looking at the palettes that I have in front of me, they kind of fall mainly into two categories. It's mostly higher end luxury brands, and then a little bit of indie makeup that I did not get to try. I have some palettes that I dipped into like a couple of times. I did a couple of looks in, but these are palettes that I didn't do anything more than like swatch the color. So I'm gonna jump into it. The first palette that I want to talk about with you guys is this Guerlain holiday palette, and these little brushes just fell out. This is the Glittery Tiger palette, and I did feature this in a video where I talked about my somewhat Sephora haul that I had a little bit of difficulty with. I believe I purchased this from Bloomingdale's, but this was the Guerlain holiday palette, and as you can see, it has this really fun exterior packaging. This is velvety with a combination of a glittery finish. So Glittery Tiger, it makes sense. But yeah, it's a really, really fun palette. It has 4 colors here, and honestly, this evokes Mardi Gras to me, so I don't really feel too bad about not getting to use this during the holidays, because I think that this would be like a fun Mardi Gras palette. So I'm looking forward to wearing this more throughout the winter, particularly around Mardi Gras time. And yeah, I think it'll bring a lot of fun to my winter looks. The next palette I want to talk about is a YSL clutch palette. I actually received this one in PR, guys, not too long ago. I want to say about like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was right before Christmas. I got this beautiful package from YSL, and I got 2 of the clutch palettes. One of them I have already used, and so I will be including that in a giveaway that will be happening either, yeah, I think probably in a future video, like a very near future video, probably the next video that I do. It's going to be featured in a giveaway. But this one I am going to keep, and I really like this because it has kind of these browny, rosy, muted tones. I think this is a very romantic palette, and I think that this will be really pretty around Valentine's Day. So I will probably be pulling this out during the Valentine's Day season, but it has this like really pretty like shimmer shade and 3 matte shades here. And I have really enjoyed the formula of these. The Stora Dolls palette, which is the cool tone palette in this format, sold out so quickly, guys, and I'm really glad I got my hands on it because it's so flattering. It's very easy to use. YSL did a great job with this holiday collection this year. They knocked it out of the ballpark. These are really beautiful, so I was thrilled when they kindly gifted this particular palette to me. So I'm looking forward to using this one more. So I'll probably do like a tutorial or something like this in shorts with this one, and maybe a few swatches. I mean, if you guys were interested in a dedicated video, let me know, but I think more than likely this will be featured in some short form content very soon. The next 2 palettes that I am going to be sharing with you are from Viseart. These surprised me. I did not know that these were coming out. I saw them popping up on their news feed around Christmas time. So we have the Petits Praline Épicé and the Petits in Tyrian. And I have the original Praline, and I talked about that one in my last video, the collab I did with Amanda from Makeup Just for Fun. And I had to pick 12 things that I would replace if I lost my makeup bag. And Praline was one of those things. This is Praline Épicé, and as I was saying in my previous video, I talked about what makeup I would replace if I lost my travel makeup bag. And the original Praline was the one palette that I chose to replace in my makeup bag. And now Viseart has come out with a slightly deeper version of the original Praline, and I'm very excited about this because this tone, the shade right here, is the perfect crease shade for me. And it's just a very beautiful neutral brownie palette, and I think it's going to be very, very versatile. And so this is definitely another workhorse that Viseart has put out. But the really interesting one is Tyrian. I was so excited about this, guys, because Tyrian is just absolutely stunning. You have this aubergine shade, okay, like a burnt purple, and you have a, 2 shimmers here, and then you have this mid-tone. How would I describe her? She's just like a cool tone shade. She looks kind of like a little bit purpley on camera, but in person it's like just like a very neutral, like light purpley tinted brown. I don't know how to describe it, so I apologize. I think Viseart is one of those brands, sometimes you just have to see the palettes in person to really appreciate them, because the camera doesn't always catch these nuances of the shades and the tones that they have created. So really, this is just like an exciting quad to have, and I think it's going to play very nicely with Praline Épicé. So I am really looking forward to using this. I'm definitely excited to create some smoky looks with this, and I think it's really pretty. I have a dream that one of these days they will do and this is just me, my opinion, I think they should do marigold Petit Four, like a yellow Petit Four would be like absolutely amazing. So we'll see what they tried to do for the spring, because I loved last year's spring offerings. I've used Lunar Nightshade, but this is Sunset Romance from Pat McGrath Labs, and these have been all over the internet. This is kind of the rosy toned one. It reminds me a little bit of the YSL palette in terms of the shade family that it falls into. It's rosy, it's romantic, it's soft. This one came out to, I believe, mixed reviews. I watched quite a few videos of people who did actually try this palette out. I'm still really happy to have this because I think that this is like a perfect like travel size palette. I love this format, the quint format, and I would love to see Pat come out with more quints. I am still really obsessed with her Celestial Nirvana quint from last year. I think it's called Bronze Bliss. And there's this one shade, I think it's like Lunar Luxe or something like that. And I'm in love with that. And I hope she re-releases it. So when I saw the quints from her holiday collection this past holiday season, these were the most interesting thing to me in the holiday collection, and I, for the first time in a few years, didn't purchase anything except for, I would say, 2 eyeshadow quints from that. I did buy some of the lip glosses for gifts and things like that, but as far as the eyeshadows went, like this and the Lunar Nightshade, but I just haven't had a chance to use this one. So it's on the list for 2024 to pull this out and have this to create looks with, and it just looks so pretty in the pan. So I'm hoping that I will have good luck with that palette. Speaking of Pat, for those of you who have supported or like have enjoyed the brand for a long time, we have all learned our lesson that if you want to purchase any of her Mothership palettes, the big girls, it's best to wait until a sale. So that's what I did when Sunlit Seduction came out. So here's the box. It's gorgeous. And here's the palette. It still has the plastic on it, guys. This is why I have no business doing any makeup shopping in 2024 unless there's something like really, really phenomenal that I see that I really, really want to try. So I have avoided, I'm trying to avoid making any new purchases. This is really, really pretty. So I know a lot of people have their opinions about Pat and her pinks, but this is really pretty. The looks that I have seen people do with this have come out beautifully. I'm really excited to create some looks with this. And yeah, I mean, I think, is it the most groundbreaking color story? No, but I will say with Pat McGrath, for as far as my experience goes, I have had a lot of luck with the formulas. When I wear Pat McGrath eyeshadows, I get a lot of compliments. I have people asking me what I have on my eyes. And I think people have to also remember that this might be boring to someone who is a makeup enthusiast or someone who really is comfortable being avant-garde with their makeup, but Pat McGrath has gone pretty mainstream, and so she is catering to a more mainstream consumer. These are shades that people really like, and you know, it's what sells. Would I still like to see something more exciting on her next release of a Mothership? Absolutely. And so I'm hoping Mothership, I guess, what is this, 12, 13, I don't know what number we're on anymore. I'm hoping she does something a little unique like some of her earlier Motherships, because I really love like Sublime and Bronze Seduction. Like yeah, she can do it. I think it's gonna happen. Let's put it out there in 2024 that we will get something besides pink. I'll take purples. I'll take purples. I'll take greens. I'll take any shades. But I still think this is really beautiful. I'm happy to have it. I am very proud of myself for waiting for it to go on sale and not purchasing this full price. It feels nice to be able to say I got a good quality item at a good price. And I know not her Motherships, but some of her other products have been showing up at TJ Maxx and Marshalls and some of the discount stores, and some people have had opinions on that, but I think that's amazing because it gives people a chance to access luxury quality makeup, because even if the quality is not necessarily on par with the motherships, it's still excellent quality. Like her other auxiliary releases, we'll call them, are still really good quality. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I don't know what that says about the prestige of the brand. I don't really have an opinion on that at the moment, but I will say I'm not mad that I got this on sale, and I'm really looking forward to using this palette in 2024. The next palette I need to use in 2024 is the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 3 palette. This is an all matte neutral palette with two cream shades in brown and black. Like, this is again what I would describe as a workhorse palette. I've heard so many good things about this palette. I have watched the reviews. I haven't done a review obviously, but I have watched the reviews on this one, so I'm really excited to use this. I got this and the Danessa Myricks Groundwork palette in 2023, and Danessa has just been sitting on my vanity. She's what I have on my eyes now, in conjunction with the Natasha Denona My Dream palette. Like, she's just so easy to use, because I really found myself enjoying that pomade formula with like the tiny pencil brushes. You can do a winged outliner, you can do a lot of different things with that, and I am imagining that I will be able to do also some really beautiful matte looks with this palette. So I'm really excited, and I think this one's going to be a little bit easier to travel with just because it's a little lighter. Danessa's palette, I think because of that pomade formula, something about the composition of that makes that palette like a little bit heavier. So if I had to decide which palette is going to travel with me to give me a variety of matte looks or options, or even like contouring, brows, whatever I want to do, this one's going to be a little bit easier to travel overseas with, I will say. So we'll see what ends up happening. I do have some travel planned for 2024 that I'm really excited about. So I think this is going to make it on at least one of my trips. I hope so, because it's really one of those great palettes that's super versatile. You can use it for you know, brows, liner, a little bit of contour, and I think that's why Danessa's palette was also so compelling and just so wonderful, is the versatility. People look at this and they might think boring, but no, versatile is what I see when I see a palette like this. So I'm really excited to have this in my collection and to use it in 2024. I don't know how this happened, but I managed to purchase this palette in 2023, and not even like in December 2023, I think sometime around like October. So a good 3 months before the year ended. And I never used this palette, guys, and I have just been seeing people rave. Like, when I watch the ranking videos and people are like, this is the best palette that I've ever used in my whole life, I'm like, I missed out. But have no fear, in 2024, okay, we're gonna make something happen with this palette. I hesitated to purchase this, honestly, when it first came out. I'm not really sure why, other than I had somehow convinced myself that I wouldn't wear these colors, even though I know I look good in green. Like, I like green shades, but for whatever reason, there was something about the initial launch, seeing this color story, I wasn't really immediately bought into it. I wasn't pulled in right away. Some people knew that this was a palette that they were excited about. I was actually more excited about Xenon coming out than this palette for whatever reason. I mean, I love cool tones, and that might explain it. And I think I was convinced that some of these shades were going to be a little too warm. It doesn't really make sense. It doesn't have to make sense. We all have our own rationale for why we like certain makeup, but I'm really excited to use this. I'm really interested in the shade Camu Camu and the shade Citrine. Like, I kind of like these kind of funky yellowy green shades, and I've heard the shimmers are really amazing. So I will be using this palette a lot more. I know that it is past the fall time, but I really want to get out of this mode of certain things having to be for a certain season, because I think that we weirdly limit ourselves sometimes with our makeup selections, because we're like, oh, that's a summer palette or that's a winter palette. And I've done that too, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, because I do think that there are certain color stories that evoke feelings of certain times of year. But I want to push myself outside of that boundary a little bit, and I want to try to use this earlier in this year, since I've had it since 2023 and I want to use it in 2024. So I think I will be able to do that. I think they'll have a lot of fun with this palette. I've seen some really gorgeous looks. I've seen some tutorials since this came out that have really inspired me to think about this palette differently. And so I'm looking forward to using it. I think this will actually be a really fun palette in the springtime, particularly because of this shade here and some of these shimmers. I think that I will somehow get creative and manage to use this in ways that will serve me really well. So I'm glad to have this palette. I did get this, I think, yeah, when I got this, I might have had a coupon or gift card or something. I don't know, but most of my makeup I really do try hard to like get on a discount. Some stuff goes on sale and I still don't want it. But I think with this, the sale kind of did push me over the edge. Plus, at that point, I'd watched enough videos to decide like, oh, this is something that I will actually get some use out of. It's a beautiful palette. I just didn't have time to use it in 2023, so I'm excited to have this on my vanity for 2024. Okay, I have two more palettes that I know I need to use in 2024, and these are from indie brands. I purchased the Cosmic Brushes Winter Wonderland palette at the end of 2023, but I thought for good measure, let me throw in the Gothic palette, which is this gorgeous purple palette. And guys, I think a goal I do have for 2024 is to do a favorite purples palette. Let me say that again. One of my goals for 2024 is to do a favorite purple palettes video, because I love purple shades. I just think that they are very flattering for brown eyes, and for the most part flattering to my skin tone. And so when I saw this, I thought, oh my gosh, plus it's an affordable indie brand and it was worth the wait. I just ran out of time to try the Gothic palette. I did a look with the Winter Wonderland palette and I love how that came out. That's one that I definitely want to use more in the winter months. But this purple palette is just so pretty and I'm really excited to use this. Do I need another purple palette? Probably not, but I just could not resist this particular purple color story. I do have some shades that are kind of similar, but this Chosen shade here, which is like this duochrome, is really stunning. I don't think I have anything quite like that in my collection. And we have the shade Gothic here, which is a matte with these purple glitters in it. When you look at it in person, it kind of looks like a starry sky. It's really, really stunning. And yeah, so I've had good luck with the Cosmic Brushes formula. I really enjoyed it. And I love that they did a curated purple palette that is not just monochromatic, but it's just really nicely, it's a nicely curated theme. And so you have purple, but with interest. So they did a really good job, and I love the packaging. So I know that this was supposed to be kind of like a more fall Halloween type palette, but honestly, I think that this would look pretty any time of year. I mean, if you love the shade purple, then purple is appropriate any day, okay? So yeah, I'm really excited to have this in my collection and to play with this in 2024. So the last palette I want to share with you guys is one that I'm particularly excited about because it's just such an interesting palette. In 2023, I really got into Adept Cosmetics as a brand, and my collection has quickly grown. And I added the Element 115 palette, and I think they're in the process. That is my dog coming in here and bursting into the room. I think that they're in the process of restocking this one. Don't quote me on that, but I still have the plastic on here, guys, so don't judge me. But this came, and then I think this came the week that I was not feeling my best. I got something, some kind of mystery thing. I went to the doctor. It wasn't COVID. It wasn't flu. People still get sick from a lot of other things in the wintertime. So anyway, I was on the struggle bus health-wise, and this showed up and I wanted to use it so bad, but I just didn't feel good. And so like I'm just peeling the plastic off. Like, guys, she's pristine, she's brand new, she still has the plastic on the mirror, but we're gonna take this off and just take a moment to appreciate like how stunning this palette is. And I'm so keen to try these rainbow shades. Like, I've seen it released in other products. I think there was like either like a highlighter palette or eyeshadow or something that came out in 2023. So I'm really curious to just kind of try it on and just see how it works. But looking at it up close, these mattes are stunning. They're stunning. And I'm very excited to try this deep navy blue shade and the shade Conspiracy here, this gorgeous teal color. I mean, it's just the nuance, right? Like, it's not just like blue or green. It's like teal, periwinkle, lilac, like navy. Really interesting colors. And then these duochrome shades that are in here that are really interesting. And again, the rainbow shades. So I'm really excited to try this out in 2024. I am, again, trying to dial down eyeshadow purchases, but I'm fairly certain Adept is probably going to do something really cool and interesting that I might have a hard time saying no to. I might have a hard time saying no to that. But yeah, this is really, really beautiful. And the looks that I have seen with this are really incredibly stunning. So yeah, I'm really excited to have this in my collection. And I think that it will be just such a fun and cool palette to use. And I think what I usually end up doing is something like the Patrick Ta palette, the neutrals in that. I usually do like a very like neutral base, and I pull in like a multi-chrome shade for a very wearable multi-chrome look. But yeah, I'll be doing all sorts of things with this. I think it's going to be a really fun palette to use in 2024. It looks like I have about 10 palettes that I have a goal to reach into in 2024, and it's a diverse array. I think that it reflects my personal makeup style. I like a lot of different things. Like, I think I mentioned on Threads one time, like, I would love to have an aesthetic, but I have too many aesthetics. Like, I like a lot of different things. I am definitely honing in terms of makeup preferences. Like, I noticed in 2023, I really seem to favor more of the indie and luxury brand offerings than some of the more, I don't know if you would describe it as like mainstream makeup, but I really have been enjoying just those formulas in particular. I think luxury because the formulas are in some cases a bit more refined and more forgiving, especially to more mature eyelids. And then with indie brands, I think they've been putting out a lot of things that are just like really exciting and interesting. So in my mind, if I'm going to buy a neutral palette, I want the formulas to work really well for me. And if I want something interesting, I just feel like indie brands have done a fantastic job offering visually interesting color stories and really good formulas. They've done a really fantastic job with that. So we will see what 2024 has to offer. I'm really committed to just trying to focus on things I'm really interested in. I think there was a time when I was committed to collecting makeup, and I feel like that has passed for me. I do not have that same desire to collect everything, because what ends up happening is you're overwhelmed with choices and not really enjoying your collection. So I've actually moved quite a bit of makeup out of my collection. I haven't filmed a declutter video before. That might be something I do in 2024, we'll see. But I usually end up giving makeup away to friends and family, or even donating some of the items that are unused, and then really old funky stuff, it just gets trashed. So pretty much the same thing most people do, except I haven't really filmed it. But that being said, I'm really excited to dig into this new to me makeup. And you know, I think sometimes too, as a content creator, you have this makeup, you don't get a chance to talk about it in the moment when it's like really hot, and then people end up just kind of ignoring or overlooking things in their collection because they're like, well, people aren't interested in it. And I want to really pull myself out of that habit, and I really want to get into wearing what I enjoy and not necessarily trying to have like the newest, hottest everything, all the things all the time. And so we will see. I think that it's evolving. It's an evolving process that we're all moving forward with. But I will say, I'm really excited to play with these. I have some great options, and so for me, there's no reason to rush into buying like all the new stuff all the time. I feel very fortunate to be in a place where I'm comfortable being selective and curating my collection, and hopefully this year downsizing it a little bit. But all that being said, I really appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to hang out with me and chat about makeup. Please let me know if there was any palette in particular that you saw that you have been enjoying, if you have any tips for how you've been using it, if there's a particular shade that you really love in a palette. I always love to kind of hear your feedback and your ideas about makeup that you're enjoying. And yeah, let me know if there's anything that you would like to see me create content around. Like I said, I tend to do looks and short form content because that's about as much time as I can claim from viewers, which is totally fine. That being said, thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to hang out with me. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like it. Please make sure to leave me a comment down below. I would love to engage with you. And if you are so inclined, please subscribe to my channel so that you can keep up with this community. I think we just got over like 1,000 subscribers, and that's so exciting. I'm just really appreciative of everybody that continues to come back and watch my videos. Please make sure to follow me on my other socials. I will include that information in the description box. And if these palettes do happen to be available, I will try my best to link them in the description box. And as always, don't forget, try to either get them on sale or use someone's code. That's all I'll say about that. Anyway, again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Happy New Year, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye.